Good evening, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining TikTok, YouTube, Instagram Live today. Today is Thursday, May 15th. Um, you probably know that I'm based in Chicago, although I have an office in Madison, Wisconsin. I rotate around. But today I'm in Chicago today, very sunny day, but it's about 88, 90 degrees, super hot, very unusual weather for Chicago. But thank you so much for joining this live stream. So once again, those of you who's joining from Instagram, YouTube, and then TikTok, uh, I forgot to turn on the TikTok. I just did. For those of you joining from TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, you'll be able to post comments or the questions, and then I'll be able to answer some of them. I wish I can answer all of them, but you know, also if you join from Facebook, LinkedIn, you're able to watch live, but you're not able to post any comments. That's the IT setup that I have. Sorry that it can be better, but that's what we have. But having said that, I'm attorney Jae Francis. I'm a U.S. immigration lawyer. We're based in Chicago, also Madison, Wisconsin, but we serve all 50 states. Today's topic is Trump immigration, but nowadays I will answer any questions that you have, and then I'll just rotate around to see which questions that I will be able to answer today. But thank you so much for joining this live. We just started. A little bit of update. The Supreme Court had a hearing today on birthright citizenship. Obviously, there's two important issues, like quote unquote issues. One is that whether President Trump can end birthright citizenship through executive order. And the second issue is whether a single federal court is able to issue nationwide injunction. It means that preventing the government from enforcing this cancellation. This hearing that they had today, it's more about the second issue, whether a single federal judge may prevent government from enforcing this cancellation of birthright citizenship. But unfortunately, not much on the merits, whether Trump's able to say that, hey, no more birthright citizenship. So we'll see. We'll see. They had a hearing, but the reports, according to reports, decision will be made June or July. This will be very, very important. But having said that, Appalachian Boy came back. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. And then I see a lot of you joining, but not posting question yet. Okay, Deja. Okay. Oh, I see. So Deja from YouTube said that she worked with an attorney, and then looks like you have a marriage green card case because you were required to submit 138 for those of you who's going through marriage green card case in the U.S., AUS. For spouse cases, you need to submit 138. But according to Deja, her attorney didn't submit 138 and it was denied. And then now you're going through 290B, motion to reopen. Now, if you need attorney, we are exceptionally good with the 290B. Deja, welcome to Francis Law Center, or you can call Dr. Jae Francis. So what you can do is to call the number on the screen. Then when you call us, then at this time you'll talk to intake specialist. But when you call tomorrow, Monday through Friday, which is Friday, 9 to 4 Central Time, then you will talk to our intake manager, Maria, or you can go into our website, francislawcenter.com, and then give us email, right? So we'll contact you. But when you talk to Maria, intake manager or intake specialist, it's a free case evaluation. But if you like to talk to us, then it'll be paid consultation. When your case is denied, right? So that 130, 45, then you have a very tight schedule. 290B, right? About 33 days. 33 days. Or if you obtain this denial notice through your My USCIS account online, then 30 days. Super tight schedule. But I think that we're highly confident that we can help you. In contrast, Appalachian Boy, the Vietnam gold visa scam, of course, we don't have it. I mean, not only for Vietnam, but we don't have any Trump card or gold card yet. They're working on it. I don't know whether they will do it, but there is no official gold card or Trump card. Yes, Ram, I think that you're our client. Sometime when you change the name, it's kind of hard to tell. But yes, so his question is whether USCIS scheduled interview for all cases. AUS answer is yes. Answer is yes. So unofficially, USCIS move into direction of scheduling all AUS cases, adjustment of the status cases, scheduled for interview. Not only marriage green card case, and then also K1 base. We saw that our case is scheduled for interview. Hey, I know, Ram. Your case was scheduled for interview, and we're gonna start the process for you. So don't worry. We're highly successful. So we're gonna make sure that you have a detailed interview preparation session for you. So I will tell you this. So I know that you like to work with a local attorney and then say, I like to ask my attorney to attend your interview. But I do it once in a while. I don't do it all the time. The reason is that we do observation. We're not able to speak on your behalf. If there's a legal issues, then I will be able to, support the clients. So that's why we make interview attendance optional for attorney, but we include, in most cases, interview preparation. So what that means is that even if you're not in Illinois, Wisconsin, welcome to Francis Law Center. We will be able to work with you regardless of where you live. Although we're not going to attend your interview if you're outside of Wisconsin, Illinois, but we know what they are. We're highly successful. Okay, so then I see it. Deja, you hire new attorney. Okay, so then her follow-up question is that her original attorney didn't do a good job, and then she hired new attorney, and then because of 30-day or 33 days, attorney is like, you wonder, probably not your attorney, wonder like whether they can extend due dates to 90B. Answer is not really. You need to get it done. You and your attorney need to get it done. So anyway, so I'm gonna see. Yes, so yeah, so then Robbie, you have a I-94, your parole, and then if you're inspected, admitted / in parole, then you're usually able to adjust your status. Then Robbie, unlike the YouTube, you're not able to find the phone number. I'm not able to tell you phone number during this meeting, so you need to go to our my profile page section, and then, or if you don't know, then type Dr. Jae Francis immigration. You will find the phone number for privacy. TikTok doesn't allow me to say phone number, during the live stream. So let me drink some water. Okay, Deja. So best wishes. If you need the best attorney, you know how to find me. Okay, but hopefully you don't need it. Okay, just in case. Now, I'm just reviewing a list of questions. Okay, so then, Wish, you said that you submitted I-130 for your husband online, and then your, follow-up subsequent questions cut off. So, so it's kind of hard to tell, but just let me know. You finish your sentence, and then I will be able to answer your question too. Okay, so you finish up, but a lot of people joining this, and then, okay, Wish, you are breaking your. Okay, so I see your second question. So then you submitted I-130 online, and then okay. Oh, I see. You're a little bit confused, Wish. So probably you need to contact us. So her situation is that she submitted I-130 only. Why? Because your husband's over. I mean, you say you mentioned I-45. It means that he's here, but does it mean that he has a pending removal proceeding? Because usually you submit I-130 and 45 at the same time. There is no reason why you submit I-130 first and 45 later. But if your husband enter with a visa, admitted, or parole, even like you enter without inspection under, during the Biden period, and parole, then you can adjust your status with the USCIS. So you submit 13045. Wish, if you need attorney, you know how to find me, right? I mentioned this, that go to profile section, find the phone number and call us. Or if you like to talk to me directly, there's a pay consultation link, then you can click it. Sorry that it didn't work for quite some time, but it's working now. And Appalachian Boy made the comments about gold card, Trump card, right? It's very expensive. So like he's saying that isn't it better to hire smuggler? I'm not sure about, very expensive. If the Trumps actually implements gold card, Trump card, but that's not what we do. So, just I will just wait. We'll see what happens. Okay, so now Manu asks question. Had interview in LA May 7, and then it was okay. Still didn't hear any answer. Okay, so you just had an interview May 7, and then how long does it take? Good question. So best case scenario would be you get approval same day, next day, or within a week. That's like, sweet spot. But you're beyond that, right? You're kind of beyond that. So usually within 30 days, our cases, usually within 30 days. Also, Manu, there is a chance that they may approve your I-130 first and 45 later. But this is the rule. If the USCIS doesn't approve your case, right, then you need to wait up to 120 days after your interview. Then you can start contacting USCIS and ask, hey guys, have you forgot about my case? So it's unfortunate, but you need to wait up to 120 days. But Manu, I hope that you don't need to wait that long. Okay. Let me see what questions posted. TikTok is a little bit quiet today. Okay. A lot of you just joining, and then but the question here. So there's okay, so your situation is a little bit convoluted. Not only your original attorney didn't submit 138, but looks like USCIS sends you the request for evidence, and then looks like it's stated on November 8th, 2024. When USCIS issue RFE, then usually they give you 87 days. But I'm just guessing based upon what you're saying. Okay. So Sajima Aziz asked the question. It's about the U visa. So you're talking about 918 supplement B certification. So usually when you have a U visa, because you're a victim of certain crime and that you cooperated with the government, police department, or the court, then you can ask a government agency to sign on certification. So then you can apply for U visa. And then Shajima's question is, how long does it take? Case by case. Usually around here, Illinois, Wisconsin, about 30 days or less, 30 days or less. But you may follow up, just call, hey guys, are you working on the certification for me? So you need to be a little bit active to get what you want. Okay, so the questions popping up. Okay, so Manu says it's good to know. Okay, so then Armin. So you had an interview, right? AUS I-130 and 45. Interview was April 17, approved. I-130 was approved April 23rd. 45 still pending. Yes, it's I wouldn't worry too much. So then what's the difference between I-130 approval and 45 when it comes to marriage green card case? I-130 is about the relationship. It means that they are convinced that Armin and your spouse have bona fide real marriage. But the 485 is about inadmissibility. So, for example, Armin, if you had various non-immigrant visa, or if you have any criminal records, or if you have a little bit complicated previous marriage, then they will look at your case. But usually, our case, I-130, 45 approved at the same time. But when I-130 is approved, usually 45 approved within 30 days. Some cases take longer, but usually that's the case. Now, piece for me, okay, you're asking a complicated question on YouTube. I mean, you probably know that there's something that require paid consultation. Peace on earth. I love your name, by the way. So it's not something that I can tell you. I need to research and I need to review the facts of your case. So sorry that I'm not answering your question. Thank you asking. Thank you for asking. But that's something that you need. You need to, contact us for paid consultation. Now, I don't know how to say, Gil. Well, I didn't ignore you. I go by certain orders and I miss you. So, but I spotted you because like I said, I have a TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and I need to rotate around, and sometimes I don't answer your question right away. Yeah. So maybe you posted question and I didn't get back to you. So then his question is really good. So he's on DACA, and then perhaps have a pending advance parole or approve advance parole, because still you're able to submit advance parole based on DACA. The question is that is it safe to go overseas? And then he's from Mexico. So then I will tell you this, Gil V, right? That's your name. If you enter without inspection for your last entry or one and only entry, then probably is risky. It's risky to go overseas with advanced parole. Now, if you like to be safer, then this is what I usually recommend to our clients. So let's say you enter the US when you're young, and then you hop onto DACA before you turn 18. So there is no unlawful presence. There is no unlawful employment, right, when you hop onto first DACA. This is a Gil V special. I'm going to go detail. Sorry that I didn't answer your question today or previously, but I'm going to make it up today, okay? So repeat, you enter without inspection, and then you hop onto DACA before you turn 18. Thus, there's no unlawful presence, unlawful employment. And then after your first DACA, you consecutively renew your DACA. There is no elapse. Then you can you can pursue CR1 spouse visa instead of DACA advanced parole. What's the difference? Because if you go overseas with advanced parole, you're going with advanced parole and you're paroled back to US, which cure your entry without inspection, right? But you're paroled into US. And then according to CBP, they said that if you enter without inspection, we're not gonna let you parole into US, case by case, by the way. But if you go through spouse visa, CR1, without any unlawful employment, unlawful presence, then you go back to Juarez in Mexico, and then you go through consular interview and you come back with immigrant visa. So that's why you come back. But Gil V, if you have any unlawful employment or unlawful presence, then your other option is to pursue 601A waiver, because that forgives all of this. So Gil V, if you need attorney for either spouse visa or 601 waiver, then let us know. Let me drink some water, okay? We're getting a lot of good questions from many of you today. Hope that I can answer many of you. Yeah, so Gil V say thank you. Peace on earth, understood. Just call us, okay? So we'll give you what you need. Okay, so use your, well, by the way, we talked about this, right? When you call us, you will talk to either Maria intake manager or specialist, free case evaluation. But if your case is complex or need if you want to talk to me, it's a paid consultation. By the way, switching to another question here. Okay. we have a lot of good questions today because it's interesting time, challenging time. Okay. Kylie Ann. So this is very common. So USCIS scheduled interview, marriage green card case, before her EAD is approved. Why? Because they're fast. USCIS scheduled interview really fast. I talk about this all the time. Cases that we filed January and February, right? January and February this year, they're scheduled for interview in April and May. Many our clients, we filed January and February, just getting EAD or didn't have a EAD before interview. So then nothing to worry. So this is the rule. USCIS will approve your 765 EAD as long as your 45 is not approved. If the USCIS approve your case, right, 45, then you don't get work permit because you don't need it. The green card is work authorization. So that's good. User 1373, you came to US with H1B, good for you. Married and file your AOS case yourself, September 24. Interview schedule. Any ideas? I said best wishes. Good luck with your case. But nowadays interview, right? It's about bona fide relationship. Whether you have a good relationship. Then I will tell this all the time. You need to be careful if you have a multiple address. So, for example, U.S. citizen petitioner has one address, maybe homeowner. Foreign spouse has another address. It can be rental address, like a lease agreement, or it can be ownership. And then if you are in same state, even same city, and then it can be, it can be a problem. It can be a problem. So you need to be careful. But user 1373, you say you entered the U.S. with H1B. So exception would be if you maintain your non-immigrant visa status, and then you don't have job mobility because you're on F1 OPT or you go to school or you're H1B, then it's okay to live separately. Long distance relationship may be okay, but certain cases. But I'm not attorney. I'm not your attorney, so you need to be careful with this. But and I'm just adding a little bit. Okay. Amado asks, how long does it take? How long? What's the processing time for marriage green card case, right? Assuming that this is AOS case, adjustment of the status, I say this overall from the beginning to the end, 3 to 5 months, super fast. Why? I'm not USCIS. I'm speculating because USCIS, instead of we're gonna skip your interview or we're gonna schedule you for interview, instead of making a judgment, National Benefit Center under Trump now sending all cases to interview. So that's why they're fast. Like, hey, we're gonna schedule your all cases for interview. So then perhaps we don't need to review your case too carefully or too completely because local USCIS officers will make the final determination. So National Benefit Center, which conduct initial review, right? So they're usually done when they issue EAD. But one of you mentioned that they schedule interview, but EAD is still pending. This is what's happening. EAD by National Benefit Center, they have lots of cases, but your case went to local field office, they have a less case. So think about this, right? All cases go to National Benefit Center initially. All your cases. They have lots of cases. That's why work permit takes longer. But once they send your case to local field office, it's like individual, field office. So for example, Wisconsin, right? Wisconsin residents either interview in Milwaukee or Twin City in Minnesota if you're like Northwest, right? And then compared to California, less immigrants in Wisconsin. Thus, they schedule interview fast. Okay. Deja, you email us. Okay, I'm glad that you find the email, but I'll take a look at it. But I usually talk about this for 30 minutes, and then I'm done for the day. It's a long day, so no guarantee that I will review your email anytime soon. But well, I'm just curious. I can take a look at it. Okay, so let me see what you're asking now. Okay, so then Meme, you're asking another excellent question. So they submitted their case 6 months ago, so which is like November. And how come they don't schedule interview for them soon? So sometimes it doesn't make any sense. So for example, I said the cases we file, October, November, December, January, February, they're scheduling interview 100%. But up until October of last year, not all cases scheduled for interview. In fact, some cases that we filed in July approved really fast, like less than 3 months. We have some cases we filed same month, July, waited 6 months. We have some cases that being scheduled now, so it's kind of case by case. But your case will be scheduled soon. Oh yes, user 1373 ask another question. This is I love it. I love it. So you should get virtual or question of the day. So they have a baby, joint child, and does it help your case? Absolutely yes. I tell you this: pregnancy, a child, joint child, super document, game changer. Your baby will make your case like 100 times better than other people. Now, if I tell you this, I sound like Republicans and Trump. You probably know that the government under Trump like to promote the babies, right? Not only babies, but they like to compel housewives, right? Females to stay at home. That's what they like to do. So they like to give you credits and all this, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not USCIS, by the way. I'm just telling you what USCIS love to see, a baby. So I'm gonna talk about my case. So we had a challenging case. Um, they're not married, but they lived together 20 years, 20 years, but never married. And then recently got married, obviously last year. And then so think about this: you're living for 20 plus years, and then you just got married, and then you apply for green card. They may ask like, why? But the good news is that they had 3 children together. And officer who interviewed them say like, I'm gonna give you green card because you have 3 children. So it's good to have a baby. But I'm gonna flip the script. What if you have a child with dubious partner? You have a previous marriage, right? And then like who's the father or mother of this child? So having a child is good, but it must be with your current spouse. That's the best case scenario. Because you have a child, right? And then sometimes USCIS like to ask, who's the father and mother? It's gonna complicate your case. Another fact pattern: you have a previous marriage, and then you got married to your current spouse, but in between you have a child. So once again, the question is, who's the father of or mother of this child? So it's challenging. Olga, say hello. I'm gonna drink some water. Okay. Now, I have about 2 minutes left. So Olga, if you like to ask question, you need to hurry up. Yes, Ashtush, our client, asking this question like, um, does USCIS schedule interview for cases now? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. So, Ashtush, you will be scheduled for interview soon, and then our team member will contact you. I'm sure that you're going to contact us first, but it's interview trains coming for everyone. You should get ready. You should get ready. So why don't you wrap up with this? So we had tons of interviews scheduled so far. Okay. Hey, Bota, how are you? Yes. Well, we're working on your case. Our team member will reach out to you. So it takes some time to assign case manager, but almost there. So we didn't forget about you. But thank you for a reminder. Okay, Bota, one of us will contact you tomorrow if we haven't done so already. But let me finish this up. So interview. USCIS scheduled tons of interviews so far. You may wonder, did they schedule all interview and then were they all separate interview? We call it Stokes interview. Answer is not really. Many of them interview together. Not all of them interview separately. So number one lesson, okay? There's a lot more. You should watch my YouTube and TikTok video. I'm gonna make more of this. Number two, are USCIS making interview process a lot more difficult than used to be? Yes, in a way, but do we have any denial? No, 100% approval. So far, so good. So we're gonna wrap it up. It has been a long day, but thank you so much. We have some clients and then new faces joining this, and then thank you so much for joining from TikTok, YouTube, and the Instagram. I do live every Thursday, 5 p.m. unless I'm out of country or out of office, but I try not to do it, or unless I'm really sick. But even though I'm super hectic, nonstop meetings, but I like to make sure that I reach out to you and talk to you. So, and then sometime, when we process cases, we're swamped. Remember this, right? Our President Trump make sure that immigration attorneys work around the clock. We're doing our best to help everyone. But I like to, talk about this many times. Nowadays, right, there's an uncertainty, right? For example, using tariff, like with the China, 20%, 140%, 60%, it changes all the time. But you should try to have a peace of mind. It's not easy. It's not easy. And then sometimes when you work with attorney, they don't get back to you right away. But doesn't mean that we forgot about you. We think about all the cases, but we need to allocate our resources, efficiently. But we're highly successful, and then we try to help our clients with a passion. But having said that, Appalachian boy, you asked question of the day: what's my golfing score? Sorry, I don't play golf because I don't have time, and then I wish I have a time. I'm not gonna blame Trump, but I'm just so busy. I just don't have time. But having said that, try to have a peace of mind, and then we'll help you if you decide to work with us. I mean, but we're highly successful and we'll do our best. So having said that, thank you so much for joining this live stream from TikTok, YouTube, and then Instagram. Thank you so much for posting excellent questions as usual. Sorry that I was unable to answer all of them, but maybe I should, I don't know, do more exercise and take medication and have one more session. It means that instead of doing once a week, maybe do it twice a week, but just too much work nowadays. So, but thank you so much for joining. We stay in touch. We'll see you next Thursday. You can also check my videos, right? Different platform. I'll see you.